Hi, everybody. My name is Michael Broder, and I'm happy to be joining you for this hard hat reading. And I'm going to read one poem by Danez Smith called The 17-Year-Old and the Gay Bar, which came from, well, I don't know if it's been in a book, frankly, but I'm getting it on the Poetry Foundation website, and it was published in Poetry in 2017. And then I'm going to be reading something from my book, This Life Now, which I'm calling The Tony Suite. So we're going to start off with The 17-Year-Old and the Gay Bar by Danez Smith. This gin-heavy heaven, blessed ground to think gay and mean we. Bless the fake ID and the bouncer who knew this need to be needed, to belong, to know how a man tastes full on vodka and free of sin. I know not which God to pray to. I look to Christ. I look to every mouth on the dance floor. I order a whiskey Coke, name it the blood of my new savior. He is just. He begs me to dance, to marvel men with the dash of hips I brought. He deems my mouth in some stranger's mouth necessary. Bless that man's mouth, the song we sway sloppy to, the beat, the bridge, the length of his hand on my thigh and back, and I know not which country I am of. I want to live on his tongue, build a home of gospel and gaiety. I want to raise a city behind his teeth for all boys of choirs and closets to refuge in. I want my new God to look at the Mecca I built him and call it damn good. Or maybe I'm just tipsy and free for the first time, willing to worship anything I can taste. And I'm going to close out today's little program with something I'm calling the Tony Suite. It's made up of 3 relatively short poems about a boyfriend of mine named Tony Salinas, who was born in 1956 and died with AIDS, but not of AIDS, died really of complications from alcoholism in 1994. Tony Suite. By the time we meet, Bobby is dead, and the guitar lies untouched in its dusty case in a corner of the dungeon, the dark hole you sleep in beneath your parents' house. You keep drinking and fucking, ultimate bad boy fuck machine, vodka-fueled rock and roll Quasimodo. Weekends, diligent, you mop the floor of your mother's beauty parlor, just the right dilution of bleach and soapy water. You leave me in the middle of the night, hang out on the boardwalk with junkies and hustlers. They rip you off when you fall asleep on a bench. While I'm at work, you write things on my computer that will haunt me when you're gone. Every revision omits more: who infected whom, what you knew and when. What remains? Some cassettes you made for me, notebooks, clippings, photos of you on stage with your bass, hair plastered to your forehead, open shirt, a drenched banner proclaiming you. 2. But tonight, if I went down under the boardwalk, would I find you there, leaning against a pillar or a chain-link fence, like when you were 13, getting your grown-up sized cock sucked by a hungry boy? No, next to your grandparents, maybe, and I wonder what it looks like, what your stone says after name and dates, lived in fear, died of complications. Remember the dumpster we passed that time, those people living behind it, and I said, that's what I'm afraid of, that you'll end up that way. How can you compare? You demanded in the Stolian Marlboro-soaked rasp that made me quiver. And maybe you were right. People like that go on for years and years, living aloof from us who pass and stare. It was never your lot to linger that way. You burned, then exploded, then were gone. 3. I'm glad there was a moment in my life when I was foolish enough to love the likes of you. Thank you, everybody. Hope to see you all again soon. That's it for today's hard hat reading.